Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Biz Chat for April. What is it? May. It's May 13th today. So happy Thursday to you. So, if you're on the call with me or you're watching the replay, put a hashtag replay in the comments or say hi so I can see you. You know, what's in your cup of go-go juice today? I am loving my coffee with oat milk this morning. And today I wanted to pop on and share some wow words of wisdom and share with you how a tool that we actually use on our 2-year-olds, for those of you who have them. Mine are now going through their terrible twos again, but now they're in their 20s, so I'm calling it terrible twos again. And so I want to share with you a tool that to keep in mind when you're running your business, and we use it on our 2-year-olds, believe it or not. I see there are 4 of you joining me live this morning. Say hi. I want to make sure I'm not talking to myself this morning as I'm sipping my coffee. You know, if you're stepping into your Wonder Woman shoes to crush it today, or if you're giving yourself a proverbial time out, let me know. What are you doing today? What's on your agenda? What are you going to be, going hard at business building? Or are you just going to take a break and nurture yourself today? Let me know. Put it in the comments. Good morning, Mandy. I see you. Thank you for joining me today. I see the comments today. Thank you, Facebook. This is awesome. So, with that said, let me take a sip and get on my soapbox about the good old-fashioned timeout. Hi, Irene. Good to see you. So, I'm 50 years old. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not afraid to shame it. I'm like a half a century now. Hopefully, the good Lord will give me another half. Good morning, Sarah. Hi, Jamie. It's so good to see you here. So, I want to let you know that I grew up raising my daughters. Hi, Deirdre. It's good to see you. I grew up raising my daughters with the good old-fashioned proverbial time out strategy. You know, when they're acting up and life is just overwhelming them and they're freaking out, and you know that a good old-fashioned timeout, whether it be in a little plastic red chair like we had. Do you remember those little plastic red chairs we used to did they even have those anymore? Whether to put them in the little plastic timeout chair in the corner and say, okay, you know what? Self-regulate, collect yourself, or, let them go sit on their bed for 5 minutes and say, you know what? Now's the time to take a time out. So good morning, Henrietta. Thanks for everybody joining me for coffee chat this morning. I'm talking about the good old-fashioned timeout. Now, I don't know if parents still use that. I'm not parenting kids anymore, so let me know. Like, if you're parenting young ones, do you use the timeout strategy? Oh, Sarah says IKEA still has the little red chairs. I know. We used to call them the hairdressing chair and the timeout chair and the tea party chair. They're great little chairs, right? So, if you're parenting anytime, do you still use the timeout strategy for parenting your kids when things get overwhelming or they're not behaving well or not accomplishing what they need to accomplish? Good morning, Debbie. It's so good to see you. So with that said, we're talking about timeouts. So it works for 2-year-olds. Like, lots of us have done it, giving our kids a timeout. Okay, you just need to go sit and be quiet for a minute. And you need to, as I found on one of my shows I was watching the other day, be cute and mute. Go sit in the timeout chair and just take a moment to take a breath. And that's that whole point, I think, of the timeout. Now, I'm not no Dr. Jody Carrington, a child psychologist, but I want to hear about, like, what do you do when you're talking about timeout? Good morning, Chantel. Hi, Anne. Wow, it's good to see everybody this morning. Thanks for joining me for coffee. I hope you're drinking your go-go juice, which is what I call coffee, out of your Wonder Woman cups or your Wow cups if you have them. So I want to get to my point. Get to your point, Michelle. The timeout is a tool that we often use with our kids as we raise them, as we work with them, as we teach them to self-regulate, take a breath, take a step back. However, do we use it on ourselves? Quite often, when we are looking at our businesses, we push for growth. We push for growth. We keep pushing through, even though we're exhausted and on the brink of burnout. Pushing leads to tears, sometimes tantrums, lots of mistakes. You know, those little mistakes that you shouldn't be doing, is thinking about yourself and giving yourself a timeout when you need it. Well, I don't mean like, sure, if you want to put a little red chair in the corner and get, I don't think I'd get my 50-year-old butt into a little red chair, to be honest. But if you want to put a 50-year-old butt into a little red chair in the corner and give yourself a timeout, do it. Because I can't tell you the amount of women in business that I work with that I see and help identify that, girlfriend, right now, the best business consulting and growth advice I can give you is give yourself a timeout. Give yourself a timeout. Take a step back. Take a day off. Take a break. I know things aren't going well for you right now. And it's all because you've pushed so hard in the time of pushing that now it's time to take a breath and self-regulate. Now it's time to get your emotions under control. Now it's time to get some rest. Because ladies, we push as women in business. And then we don't think that we actually need a break. But girlfriends, please give yourselves a timeout. Use the same tool. And timeout could be when you give yourself a 10-minute timeout twice a day. Like maybe just go sit outside on your deck while it's beautiful outside and soak up some sun and some vitamin D and give yourself, you know what? I'm going to give myself a timeout today. I'm going to give myself 2 just to walk away rather than pushing. Or maybe you've decided your timeout is weekends and you're not going to work weekends anymore. Awesome. But develop a timeout strategy that works for you, that you can endure, because you always hear me say again and again and again, you always hear me say that building a business is a marathon, not a sprint. And marathon runners actually keep their heart rates really, really low so they can go the distance. They have that endurance, whereas sprinters are like fast out of the gate, all energy, all in, but it's for a really short period of time. And then when they finish the line, they're like, for the finish line, they're like, oh, okay, now I can take a rest, because they had those massive short energy spurts. But it's not like that when you're building a business. Good morning, Kelly. You need to have the endurance, because building a business could be 5 years. Building a business could be 10 years. Depending on how much time you allocate to it. So I want to let the ladies that are on the call with me today, will you tell me your version of a timeout? What do you do to give yourself a timeout, whether it be in your day, in your week, in your year? Some people say, okay, I work really, really hard and I push through, knowing that I can take a month off in the summer. And I know that's my light at the end of the tunnel. So thinking about, there's a time for everything in your business. Like, I have to turn my head because I'm going to read from my other screen from one of my favorite books. And it says there's a time for everything. A season for activity, every activity under the heavens. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to laugh, a time to weep, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to scatter stones, a time to gather them, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search, a time to give up, a time to keep, and a time to throw away, a time to tear, and a time to mend, and a time to be silent, and a time to speak. And you know what this really is that there should also be a time out for business. There's a time to push. There is a time to get scrappy, as my friend Michelle Romanoff said at the WOW Gala a couple of years ago. There's a time to get scrappy. There's a time to push. There's a time to get all your ducks in a row, so to speak. There's a time for strategy. There's a time for selling. There's a time for rest in your business, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. So what is your time right now? Is this your time where you're like, okay, it's the middle of May. I'm going to take July and August off for summer. So I've got 6 weeks to really work really, really hard, knowing that I will have my time out or my rest period. Or is it time to rest right now? Is it time to take a few days off? Is it time that now that maybe your business has been impacted by COVID, that this is the time to rest? Or is this the time to step back and look at your business from a 30,000 foot level and say, okay, now I'm not working in my business. Now it's time to work on my business. Let's look at systems, look at strategies, automations to make or software that might make your life easier. What time is it for you in your business? And only you can know. I mean, certainly a coach like myself, a business consultant like myself, can work with you and identify, okay, what season are you in right now, and how can I help? You know, I was working with a client last week, and I said, honey, you got to take some days off. You are pushing, you are building, you are doing great, but you're this far away from the edge of burning out and not coming back. You're this far away from getting sick. You're this far away from snapping at everybody around you. And you're this far away. So how about we come back a little bit and take that time for rest? So I want to go through the comments, because you're giving me some great comments. Like, what are your tips on the time out, taking time, and what season are you in? Because there are seasons. There's a season in your business to go hard and get scrappy and create new products and share them with the world. And there's a time to hold back and say, you know what? I want to work on strategies and systems, and I want to make sure that maybe I've got my financial health of my business looked after. What season are you in? I want to hear from you. Put it in the comments for me. So, Iris, I'm so glad you're here from the USA. Lucinda's here. She's taking me on a season of hiking this year, which is going to be awesome. Kelly's here. Jamie says her back deck and shed are definitely her timeout places. I've been in your she shed, Jamie, and it's rocking. You know, if you ever get the opportunity after lockdown to visit Jamie in her she shed, highly recommend. Sarah says she stopped having spillover tasks on the weekend, which she rarely did, and just used them to be feeling busy. Yeah, like there's a real big difference between being busy, which equals stress, and being productive, which equals success. And believe you me, if you take some time off, you'll utilize the time that you have in your business more productively, because you know you're well rested and you're on your A game. Deirdre says she goes for a short walk and hugs a tree. Awesome. Sabrina says that's a great song. Actually, it's not a song. It's a scripture from Ecclesiastes. So if you're looking for what I just read, there's a time for everything, a time to weep, a time to mourn, a time to embrace, a time to not embrace. Ecclesiastes 3, verses 1 through 7. So Chantel says, yeah, days off. It's been forever. Honey, I know you've been through a season. Chantel's a bookkeeper, and she's been through tax season and year ends and all the COVIDs and the COVID reports and the T4s, and you've been in a crazy season. Is now the time for you to give yourself a time out of your business? Mandy says she's in the shoulder season after taxes, planning for long weekends over the July and August season. Awesome. You've got a plan. See, that's the thing, ladies, and I keep on saying this. The work-life balance fairy just doesn't come along and go poof and magically give you work-life balance. You need to have awareness of the season that you're in, what you want to accomplish, and have a strategy to plan your work-life balance. Block off days in your calendar. Set a reminder on your phone to go outside and go for a walk. Make sure that, you might have a blinky light on your water bottles to say, okay, now just stand up. Don't sit on your butt all day at your desk. Just stand up. And that could be a time for just a breath, just breathing. Diane says she goes for a ride on her Harley. Yeah, you do. That is awesome. And Chantel says she feels like she won't slow down until COVID benefits run out in September. Yeah, that's true. But how can you put in those mini timeout breaks? Don't make me bring the red chair over to you, Chantel, because I know where your office is. So I can bring you a red timeout chair. So Lorraine says, go for a freaking walk. Absolutely. So remember this. As I wrap up to almost 20 minutes of chatter on my Coffee and Biz Chat this morning, remember there's a time for every season in your business. But in order to capitalize on that time, you have to plan for it. You have to keep it sacred. Keep that time sacred for you. And rather than ending up like that 2-year-old, where you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off and you're throwing tantrums and you're freaking out and things are triggering your anger and your tears when they're just little tiny things. Avoid that massive burnout that's going to set you back 6 months to a year in your business. And start planning your timeouts. Give yourself that timeout, whether it be 10 minutes today, whether it be you plan a timeout for the summer season, whether you schedule your operating hours to only work, Monday through Friday and certain days. So Deirdre says, what do I mean by seasons? There is a season, just like there are seasons in nature, like spring, fall, summer, winter. We have spring, fall, summer, winter in business too. We have the spring when we're planting and we're working really hard. And the summer might be we actually take a step back and let the crops grow. So all the seeds that you've planted, let them grow, give them time, nurture them. In the fall, it's harvest season. So what are you harvesting? Because remember, it takes about 90 days. Whatever you do in your business today, whatever seeds you're planting for lead generation, for productivity, for sales, for marketing, for awareness, for brand visibility, whatever seeds you're planting today, you probably won't actually harvest any results from in about 90 days. So that's like a spring and fall type of thing. And then the winter's the hard times. And right now, the world is in a winter season where we are in a hard time, where businesses have closed down, where people are struggling financially, mentally, physically. It's just a worldwide struggle. We're in a winter right now. And again, how do we navigate through that season? Just like a moment could be a minute, or a moment could be a month. So when you're talking about the seasons of business, what season are you in? Are you in the planting season? Are you in the harvesting season where you're reaping the rewards of all your hard work? Are you in winter right now? And if you're in winter right now, I'm here to support you. The whole WOW community is here to support you. If you're in a tough time in your business right now and you feel like it's, winter in Siberia every day, then reach out for help, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. So if you'd like to talk, then you can absolutely book 20 minutes with me. We'll have a private coffee and biz chat. I'll put the link in the comments below. But let me think about this today, ladies. I want you just to ponder. These coffee and biz chats are for me just to plant seeds in your minds for you to ponder on how you're working your business today. So what season are you in? Is it the season of getting scrappy? Is it the season of pushing? Is it the season of creativity? Is it the season of go, 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 go? Or is it the season of rest? Because if you take some time and rest, it will give you the endurance to continue to build your business, continue to serve well because you'll be on your A game, and also give you time for you. And remember, all of this doesn't automatically happen. It comes from planning. So with that said, yeah, that's my Coffee and Biz Chat today. If you would like me to talk about a certain subject at Coffee at Biz Chat, please put it in the comments. If you want to learn something, you want me to talk about something specific, or if you want me to answer some of your questions at the next Coffee and Biz Chat, put it in the comments below underneath this video, because I love showing up on Thursday mornings for you and having coffee with my amazing WOW women, or the women who wow. And with that said, today, some tips. Identify what season you're in, and then plan your timeouts. And last but not least, be productive in your business. Don't be busy. There is a huge difference between busyness, which equals stress and overwhelm and procrastination, and actually sets you back in your business, and productivity, positive productivity that keeps you feeling successful, keeps you moving forward. And if you want to know the difference and how to get there, work with me. I'm here to help. Thanks, everybody. Have a great Thursday. Cheers. Happy Coffee and Biz Chat. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.